Hello everyone and welcome back to the DeHart house. My name is Alicia. I'm your host for this crafty podcast. I am joined today by my co-host Marjorie, our 3-year-old black Labrador. However, you can't see her because she's a black Labrador and she's laying down. So, but she may decide to sit up and make an appearance today. So before I share what I have finished this week, I wanted to ask you guys about a knit-along. And it's a knit-along that a lot of other podcasters are hosting, and that is Christmas in July. So I have already started making and purchasing Christmas gifts. I'm also going to be moving across the country next month, which is insane. But yes, I've already started thinking about Christmas, and now it's July. So my question is, are you guys interested in having yet another Christmas in July knit-along to participate in? If so, I would be happy to host one of those. It'd be very loose in the guidelines because come on, we're getting a jump on Christmas gifts. That is awesome. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there because some of the things I'm going to share today are Christmas gifts. So I apologize for the lighting and whatnot. Like I said, we are moving across the country next month. So I'm in the living room. The lighting is not the best. The whole house is a mess. Just there are boxes stacked up in that corner. There's yard sale stuff piled up in that corner. I just went through the kitchen cupboards yesterday and tried packing up baking dishes, turkey roasters. So this was the cleanest spot in the house that I could find to sit and record a podcast. I usually do this in my craft room, but as you can imagine, that room is a mess as well because I've already started packing some of my crafty things. So I want to share a couple of finished objects with you in this episode, and the first one is a pair of socks. This pair of socks is officially finished. Ends are woven in. This is a pattern that I have designed and now released on Ravelry. And this pattern is available for free. Yes, you heard me, for free. So it's a very simple pattern that just plays around with ribbing. And I thought it was a great pattern to offer for free. It's beginner friendly, intermediate friendly, and I think really great for knitting gift socks. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I like knitting ribbed socks for gifts because they fit really well. So these socks, so the pattern is called Elevation Socks. By DeHart House Designs, Alicia DeHart on Ravelry. And it's free. You just download the pattern and knit away. So I use Patton's Croy yarn, but you can use any fingering weight yarn that you feel comfortable knitting up for socks. I personally like yarn that has nylon in it for my socks. I do not use 100% wool for socks, except when it comes to Patton's Croy. Patton's Croy is super durable, and it's got to be one of my most favorite sock yarns, commercial, indie, or whatever. So the striping color here is called Brown Rose Marl. Or rose brown. I had trouble with this last time too. I think it's Brown Rose Marl. And then I did use a contrasting color for the heel and the cuff, and that contrast color is called Flax. But as you can see here, even with my not so great lighting, it goes really well with the stripes here. So it's not an exact match, but it's pretty close. So I didn't have enough of the self-striping yarn to completely make these socks. I did need a little bit of extra yardage, and I really like using a contrasting color for the heel so that I don't have to interrupt my stripe sequence. Okay, so the pattern is knit top down, or cuff down, if you will. So you cast on here, you work some ribbing, and then you change to go into the ribbing pattern. It's got a short row heel written into the pattern and a standard toe. And I just went with the self-striping yarn for the toe because I'm cool with that. So with these socks, so what I did is continued the 2x2 ribbing as a panel down the front of the sock, and then bordered it with 1x1 ribbing on either side. And I did knit these stitches through the back loop, so it's more of a twisted rib style. However, I did not purl through the back loop, I only knit through the back loop, which in my opinion is way easier. And then on the side panel, we've got a column of knit stitches running down the side. So I think these are going to make an awesome gift for the recipient. I think they're going to fit really well. And I decided to make these socks a little bit shorter, so they come up over the ankle bone and just a little bit further. So I've been really into knitting shorter socks lately, and for gift knitting, that's no exception. Yeah, so like I said, I use Patton's Croy sock yarn and a US size 1 knitting needle, which is a 2.25 millimeter, and I used 64 stitches. And I'm cool with using a little bit more stitches, especially when there's ribbing involved, because it's going to cinch in the sock where it needs to be cinched in. But it's really hard to make the sock bigger than the number of stitches you have. So anyway, these are finished. These are going to be a Christmas gift for someone, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So my second finished object this week is also a pair of socks. These are the recreation socks, another pattern design that I'm working on that has not been released yet. So these are a gift knit for my husband, and hopefully he won't watch this episode in the next few days because these are an anniversary gift. So we got married last year on July 8th, and so next week will be our 1-year wedding anniversary. So I decided I would knit him a pair of socks to go in his gift basket. So he's not just getting socks. Anyway, so the reason that I could not finish these sooner is because not stupidly, but I did not pay attention to how much of this yarn I had in my stash. So I knit the first sock and weighed the sock to figure out how much yarn I used, weighed the rest of this yarn that I had left, and it was not enough to make the second sock. So I didn't plan ahead very well. So Michael and I scoured big box stores in the Dallas area last weekend and finally found a store that carried this particular color. And I did not think it was going to be that hard to find, but apparently big box stores like Joann's and Hobby Lobby don't always carry the same colors of Patton's Croy yarn. Crazy. And this being such a nice neutral gray color, I thought more of those stores would have it in stock, but they didn't. So I think we went to 4. We went to 4 Joann's craft stores, fabric stores, Joann's. We went to 4 of them, and the 4th one finally had it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was able to finish his pair of socks. So this is also knit cuff down, 64 stitches, US size 1 needle. This is Patton's Croy in the gray marl colorway, which apparently is not as easy to find as I thought it was, but definitely one of my favorites. I really like this color yarn. So again, I played around with some ribbing, and on this one I have this nice cable running down the front. So let me take this off the blocker so I can show you the front of the sock. There we go. So we've got 2x2 ribbing up at the top. We've got this nice cable centered down the front of the sock, and it runs all the way down the foot, stops at the toe. And then on either side of the cable, I have some ribbing. So again, this is going to be a nice, well-fitting sock. And I played around with putting a little bit of ribbing on the back of the sock as well. So this is the recreation sock, and I have not released the pattern yet. I'm thinking that this will come out within the next 2 weeks. So this is not a Christmas gift, but it is another gift knit, and I'm really happy to have this pair finally finished. I did the whole thing in one color, no contrasting heels or toes, and I think these are just going to look really nice. So Michael said he also likes the shorter socks, and he doesn't like his socks as short as I do, so he still wants the ankle bone covered, but these are really nice to wear when it's hot out, and we are still living in Texas and it is hot out. So that is it. I have finished a couple pairs of socks. The elevation sock pattern is free, available on Ravelry, and the recreation sock pattern will be available within the next 2 weeks. I can't guarantee a date, but my goal is to release it within the next 2 weeks. So a lot of cleaning and packing is what is taking up most of my time. So I don't have a lot of knitting to show. So that is all, you guys. That is it. I'm not going to share any works in progress because honestly, I don't really have that much. I have been packing, I have been cleaning, I have been working out, and I just don't have much to share. But you know what? I really like the idea of putting up shorter episodes. And yeah. So please comment below if you would like to have a Christmas in July knit along with very loose guidelines. Just give me yay or nay on that subject. I'm cool either way. If you would like to see more things from me, you can follow me on Instagram. I am Read Knit Run. You can also follow my shop at DeHart House on Instagram, where I post about pattern designs, bags I've sewn up, and things like that. You can also friend me on Ravelry. My account over there is AlittyKnitsToo, where you can see my project notes, links to yarn that I've used, needle sizes, things like that. And So that's all I have for this episode. So you guys, I'm going to get back to packing and I will see you next time. Bye.